Welcome to Spectrum News at 10. I am Emedion James coming to you live from Uyo. Let's take a look at today's headlines. President Tinubu says his foreign trips to regain Nigeria's dignity. National Economic Council endorses renewed Hope economic plan. Plus, US approves $825 million missile sale to Ukraine. We'll bring you details of these stories and more in just a moment. Good morning and thank you for joining us. Our first report this morning is that President Bola Tinubu has explained that every one of his international engagement was motivated by the responsibility Nigerians entrusted to him in 2023 to restore Nigerians' pride and dignity on the global stage. He added that in line with the talks, the foreign trips and his administration's reform programs were aimed at securing opportunities that would lead to growth, job creation and prosperity for all Nigerians. The president, who stated this in a post on his verified X handle shortly after arrival from Japan and Brazil, said his engagement in the Asian and South American nations focused on unlocking critical investment. According to him, Japan offered new avenues in industry, technology and human capital development, while Brazil opened up partnerships in trade, agriculture, aviation and finance. Away from that, the National Economic Council (NEC) has endorsed a framework for the Renewed Hope Development Plan 2026 to 2030. According to report, the plan is aimed at consolidating Nigeria's reform agenda and actualizing the $1 trillion economic target of President Bola Tinubu's administration. This was part of the resolution reached at the 151st meeting of the Council, presided over by the Vice President Kashim Shettima, held at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. The Council commended the Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning for kickstarting the process and also urged the effective participation of all state and stakeholders to ensure inclusivity and accelerated growth. The chairman of the council, Vice President Shettima, said the new National Development Plan will build on existing policies, deepen continuity and align Nigeria's growth trajectory with the long-term goals of Nigeria Agenda 2050, while also describing the transition as critical to sustaining the country's economic trajectory and consolidating the administration's ongoing reforms. In a separate development, the federal government has assured Nigerians that it is committed to resolving all outstanding issues with the Academic Staff Union of Universities, Asuu, in a sustainable and permanent manner in line with the mandate of President Bola Tinubu. Speaking to journalists in Abuja, the Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, emphasized that President Tinubu has been deliberate and meticulous in addressing Nigeria's challenges sector by sector with long-term sustainability as the goal. The minister explained that while ASU had submitted proposals through the Yayale Ahmed-led committee, the federal government convened a high-level meeting to deliberate on the proposals line by line. It disclosed that a 7-member technical team has been set up, chaired by the Permanent Secretary of the Federal Ministry of Education, to harmonize the government's counter-proposal. He further assured that the Tinubu's administration would not sign any bogus or unsustainable agreement, but will instead ensure that every clause is actionable and visible. Meanwhile, the federal government has assured Nigerians that passports will now be delivered within 1 week of enrollment, following sweeping reforms in the issuance process. The Minister of Interior, Dr. Olubomi Tunji-Ojo, gave the assurance in Abuja during the ministry's mid-tenure performance retreat. He noted that the new system was designed to eliminate long delays and extortions that once forced citizens to wait 6 to 7 months or pay as much as 200,000 naira to fast-track processing, explaining that the centralized personalization center, the largest in Africa, will ensure faster processing and stricter security. Tunji-Ojo also announced that passport control officers will no longer have the power to approve or delay passport applications, following revelations that some of them were at the center of corruption and inefficiency in the system. On judicial matters, a Rivers State High Court sitting in Port Harcourt has dismissed an ex parte application seeking to stop the local government elections scheduled for Saturday, August 30 in the state. Justice Stephen Jumbo ruled on a suit filed by Port Harcourt-based legal practitioner Williams Abayomi Stanley against President Bola Tinubu. The Attorney General of the Federation, the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, and its chairman. The judge held that the application for the ex parte motion lacked merit and consequently dismissed it. However, Justice Jumbo granted an ex parte order for substituted service on the defendant, but directed that the August 30 local government election should proceed as planned. The substantive suit was therefore adjourned to September 10, 2025 for hearing. In education, the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Polytechnics has issued a 21-day ultimatum to the federal government over what it described as long-standing unmet demands. The decision followed the union's 77th General Executive Council meeting held at Audu Bako College of Agriculture, Danbate, Kano State, where issues affecting members' welfare and the union were extensively discussed. The communique of the meeting, made available to newsmen in Abuja, noted that the council reviewed unresolved issues with government, including release of the new schemes and conditions of service, constitutions of the renegotiation committee on the 2010 agreement, non-release of the 2023, 2024 and 2025 needs assessment funds, non-payment of arrears such as promotion arrears, 25/35% salary review arrears, wage award, and full implementation of the new minimum wage. The union expressed displeasure over what it described as the government's insincerity in honoring agreement and prioritizing their education sector. Let's move now to Africa, where Rwanda says a first group of 7 deportees from the United States have arrived in the country in mid-August under an agreement with Washington. A government spokesperson, Yolanda Makolo, added that each case was vetted under the bilateral agreement, which allows Kigali to review and approve migrants before granting entry. No information has been provided about the identities of the deportees, but Makolo said they had been accommodated by an international organization. They are also being visited by the International Organization for Migration, as well as representative of Rwanda's social services. Still in Africa, Indonesia's health officials have confirmed that at least 17 people, mostly children, have died following the measles outbreak in East Java. Health Minister Budi Sadikin said he will travel to Sumedap, the hardest hit district, to oversee emergency measures. He links the outbreak to disruptions in vaccination programs during the COVID-19 pandemic, which left many children unprotected. Meanwhile, authorities have launched a mass vaccination drive aiming to reach 95% of children in Sumeda by mid-September. Reports say more than 9,800 doses of measles vaccines have already been distributed alongside vitamin A supplement to boost immunity. On the foreign scene, the United States has announced the approval of an $825 million sales of 3,350 extended-range attack munitions, air-launched missiles and related equipment to Ukraine. The U.S. Defense Security Cooperation Agency (DSCA) said in a statement that Kiev will make the purchase with funding from Denmark, the Netherlands and Norway and a loan guarantee from the United States. The SCA said the proposed sale will improve Ukraine's capability to meet current and future threats by further equipping it to conduct self-defense and regional security missions. The agency added that the sale will support the foreign policy and national security objectives of the United States by improving the security of a partner country that is a force for political stability and economic progress in Europe. Still on the foreign scene, attend a charity awards ceremony on September 8, coinciding with the third anniversary of the death of his grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II. Harry, who has been a patron of the charity since 2007, said in a statement that he is already privileged to attend the Well Child Awards and meet the incredible children, families and professionals who inspire them with their strength and spirit. Still to come in the news. Liverpool, Manchester City to face Real Madrid in Champions League. Stay tuned for details of this in just a moment. Many thanks for staying tuned. And a business news, Vice President Kashim Shettima, Finance Minister Wale Edun and Central Bank of Nigerian Governor Olayemi Cardoso have urged management as a national culture to strengthen economic resilience amid global uncertainties. The call was made in Lagos at the 24th Annual International Conference of the Chartered Risk Management Institute of Nigeria, themed Global Risks, Local Solutions. Represented by his advisor on economic and financial inclusion, Nuruddin Zaru, Shettima said the risks facing Nigeria, climate change, cybersecurity, pandemics and disruptive technologies are immediate and evolving. He also stressed that resilience must extend beyond government policies to shape decisions at the household, business and institutional levels. Meanwhile, CBN Governor Cardoso, represented by Bless Ijabo, Director of Risk Management Department, and Finance Minister Edun, represented by Permanent Secretary Raymond Omachi, said that Nigeria's economy is already under pressure from supply chain disruptions, capital flow reversals and extreme weather. They also noted that reforms such as fuel subsidy removal and exchange rate unification were painful but necessary to reposition the economy for sustainable growth. Still in business, the Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPC), Bayo Ojulari, has declared that fixing the country's refineries under NNPC's management was being difficult due to the neglect of the plant for decades. He also revealed that the NNPC is under attack from people who do not mean well for Nigerians and who are against the ongoing transformation effort in the company. Ojulari disclosed this while playing host to the delegation from the national body of the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria at the NNPC's towers in Abuja. He pointed out that Nigeria's refineries has suffered years of neglect, making them difficult to revive despite huge investment in the facilities located in Warri, Port Harcourt and Kaduna. He also added that NNPC was leveraging its equity in the Dangote Petroleum Refinery to diversify supply while ensuring no shortage of product during the transition. Let's move now to health, where medical expert Oluwaseyin Adebayo has urged women to take charge of their health and embrace intentional living. The medical doctor, who stated this in Lagos, noted that women's well-being should not be seen as a luxury but as a necessity, and asked women to prioritize their health. Adebayo encouraged women to seek curative treatment, relaxation therapies and programs for mindful living. We move now to sports, where Liverpool and Manchester City will both come up against Real Madrid in this season's Champions League, while title holders Paris Saint-Germain were handed a tough list of opponents in yesterday's draw, including Barcelona and Bayern Munich. Xabi Alonso's Real will play City at home and take on Premier League champions Liverpool at Anfield in what will be two of the standout fixtures of the league phase. Onslaught Liverpool, who finished first in the league's phase last season, only to be eliminated by PSG in the last 16, will also play Atletico Madrid, PSV and Qarabağ of Azerbaijan at home. In addition, they must go to Inter Milan, Eintracht Frankfurt, Marseille and Turkish champions Galatasaray. City, who won the Champions League in 2023, will welcome Borussia Dortmund, Bayer Leverkusen, Italian champions Napoli and Galatasaray to the Etihad Stadium. As well, they will also visit Villarreal, Monaco and Norwegian newcomers Bodo Glimt. PSG will entertain Bayer and go to Barcelona, while the French club also has home fixtures against Tottenham Hotspur and Newcastle United. Meanwhile, UEFA is not expected to announce specific fixtures date until today, but the first round of games will take place across 3 days from September 16 to 18. The eighth and final match day is scheduled for January 28, 2026. Still in sport, Fenerbahce have decided to sack Jose Mourinho as their manager. The Turkish club has decided to part ways with Mourinho a day after they failed to qualify for the Champions League phase as they were eliminated by Benfica. The 62-year-old has only been with Fenerbahce for 8 months and leaves after only 2 matches this season. Mourinho led the club to a second place in the Super League yesterday. During his time in Istanbul, Mourinho failed to win any silverware, having been knocked out of the Turkish club in the quarterfinals and fallen to Rangers in the Europa League round of 16. We move now to entertainment, where popular Nigerian rapper and activist Folarin Falana, professionally known as Falz, has announced his engagement with his lover. The singer announced his engagement in an Instagram post yesterday. Sharing his pre-wedding photos, Falz revealed his marriage plan and described the development as one of his best decisions. And that's all we have for you. On social media, subscribe to YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website spectrumtvlive.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 10. I am Emedion James. Enjoy the rest of your day and thank you for watching.